He's one of the best young comics in town. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for your first comic of the night, Mr. Aaron Black.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for being here. It's great that so many people are here, and it's great that you're all here because, like, if anything had to happen, like, you're dead, and you're dead, and there's so many people that would just get trampled, and you're like, oh, fuck it, you know? I'm just gonna go out laughing. Just gonna die in Silver Lake, you know? Which is a good place to die. There's other, I don't know. When I moved to LA, I moved up into the valley because the friend that I moved in with never told me it wasn't Hollywood. So I was just there for a while. You see a lot of weird things in the valley. Like, how is every other building a #1 Korean donut shop? Don't you think they would have gotten together and figured it out? Like, you're one, you're two. About the first week I was there, I saw somebody smoke meth. Seen somebody? Yeah, meth. Seeing somebody smoke meth is an interesting story to have in itself, but this instance was particularly special for me because it was in my living room. Because my roommates hang out with some pretty classy people. People that say things like, yeah, I don't really smoke crystal anymore, I like to bang it out. I don't know what the fuck that means. But you can't use my toothbrush, you know? Or I think you need to, you know? And I just had no idea what was going on. Like, right before this happened, like, my first thought was, oh, that's interesting. Never seen somebody carry a light bulb in their purse before. Like, it was like, oh, Monica's handy, you know? So, you know, the people you find on Craigslist, they're not there. It's so bad, and I get why people go on there because, hey, you don't think you're gonna get chlamydia, but the fun is in not knowing. Anyway, she ended up smoking meth, and that was the most fucked up game of Scrabble I ever played. I'm 31, you guys, and I'm getting up there. Yeah, sure. When you get older, you start realizing things about yourself that you weren't expecting. And one of those things for me is there's a certain type of porn I can't jerk off to anymore. If I fundamentally disagree with the storyline. I was watching a movie the other day. It was called Barely Legal Librarians. And the whole time I'm thinking, this is one fucked up library. Like, I don't know who they're hiring, but they really dropped the ball. Because there's no way this girl's a fucking librarian. I'm pretty sure I saw her at Vaughn's 2 weeks ago. She couldn't figure out how to use the self-checkout aisle, and that's fine. But if you spend 20 minutes trying to scan an avocado, you don't work in a library. You just don't, you know? And that thought I had that there is no way that this woman is a librarian was totally validated by the fact that every scene in the movie started out with her being a shitty librarian. Like, every scene was her being like, oh, I'm really sorry, sir, I can't help you find that book. Well, maybe if you spent a little less time sucking dick. And more time learning the Dewey Decimal System. Who knows how high you can fly? I would love to see this. I just wish one scene was some guy who, like, didn't know he was in a porn movie. Like some guy who walked in and was like, yeah, no, I like blowjobs too, but this paper's due tomorrow. Get off! Who the fuck are you? Fucking punks? Blowjobs. Okay. I got a pretty shitty text message the other day. A friend of mine said, he texted me, he said, hey man, sure you heard the news about Kelsey by now, hang in there. Kelsey's my ex-girlfriend, and as soon as I got that text message, I knew she got engaged because her and her new boyfriend had been fucking killing it on Facebook. It was just pictures of them under waterfalls, you know, riding ponies, eating crepes at brunch, you know, and a field of daisies with a stupid rainbow in the background. You ever been depressed by a rainbow? I have. Her profile picture made the Notebook look like a snuff film. Like, just to give you some idea of how romantic this picture was, her boyfriend in the picture, he's wearing salmon-colored pants. Doesn't even look like a douchebag. It's incredible. The picture looked like one of those, it looks like one of those pictures you see inside of frames when you go shopping for frames at the frame store. Like, my girlfriend's a stock model person, you know? And all the comments were like, "You're glowing!" Which, you know, I always thought it was just a word used to describe pregnant women. But apparently glowing is a word to describe pregnant women and ex-girlfriends that are totally happy without you. Have you ever been in a relationship and it doesn't work out and you're having trouble getting past that point? You know, just talk to somebody. Just talk to somebody. Talk to like a coworker or friend. Don't let it fester inside like a raisin in the sun. Just talk to a person, you know, and just verbalize it. There's some people though that you shouldn't talk to though, like the girl you're currently dating. She won't have much sympathy for your plight. When I got that text message, I was with this girl and things were already not going well. We were sitting there watching House of Cards for the second time because I was too afraid to tell her that I saw it already. And I got the text message, and she goes, "Hey, what's wrong?" And I go, I don't know, like, my ex just got engaged. She goes, "Well, why does that bother you so much?" And I go, "Well, we were together for a while, and it still, I don't know, it kind of hurts." And then she looked me in the eyes, and she said, "Are you still hung up on your ex?" And then I looked her in the eyes, and I said, "Is this table from IKEA?" She didn't fall for the ruse, you guys. I like him smart. I like him smart. I like him sharp up here. You know, they say the hardest thing to do is to work with an ex-girlfriend, which I think that's hard, but I think what's even harder is to be in a sketch comedy group with an ex-girlfriend. Especially when she has big parts in all the sketches you wrote, because she asked you to do it, so you did it because you thought you were in love at the time. So now it's just you and her on stage, you know, and she goes, "I came in a week ago to fill in my medication, but you gave me jelly beans instead. What type of pharmacy is this?" And then you go, "Fuck you." What happened, you know? I thought they were cool, and then all of a sudden, you're not returning my texts, you're not returning my phone calls. You know, is it somebody else? Just talk to me. Can you talk to me? You know, you're just gonna drop me like a bag of raisins? And then she goes, "You were emotionally unavailable. Get out of character, Jill!" I watch a lot of true crime television. I really like that stuff, like Forensic Files. It's awesome. But I watch so much of it that it's changed the way I think about things, you know? Like, now, whenever my girlfriend's late for anything, and she hasn't texted and she hasn't called, because I love her with all my heart, my first thought always is, get an alibi. Get an alibi. Get a motherfucking alibi. All your wives and girlfriends are just fucking prison sentences. And you're gonna get framed for it, and I see some of you right now, it's like, oh, I love my girlfriend, I want to put poetry in her heart, you know? You're going down, and you're going down fucking hard, okay? I need an alibi, personally, because if anything happened to my girlfriend, eventually I would have to talk to the cops. Anybody here ever have a fucking conversation with me? No bueno, guys. No bueno. Like, my default social setting is weird and awkward. I can make the weather sound sketchy. That's why when I'm alone in my room, I like to spend 5 minutes of every half an hour on chat roulette. Because I can't be strangling 19-year-old co-eds if at the same time I'm supposed to be showing my dick to 19-year-old co-eds. It's impossible. So this is what I've been doing recently. I've been treating every situation with my girlfriend as kind of like a potential crime scene. You know? Which has sort of hindered the relationship a bit, especially in the bedroom. Like, she thinks we're getting freaky and exploring the boundaries of a relationship sexually, but what I'm thinking is, there's a lot of evidence here. There's a lot of evidence, there's a lot of DNA a bunch of places. So I figured out what to do to remedy the problem. I'm just going to make the precautions I want to take sound sexy, right? You know? So when we're in the bedroom and we're getting on, she's like, oh, where do you want to come? You know, I'm just like, oh, in the toilet. I just want to come in the You know what would be like super hot right now if we just like wipe everything down? Just fucking wipe it down with bleach. Oh god, so sexy. Just like it was never here. Just wipe it down. Fucking yes. That would be hot. I don't want to have kids, you guys. I don't want to have children. Well, first off, I don't know if I wouldn't hit a kid. Just don't. As far as I can tell, the only thing you know about children is limited to the experience you have with them. So the only thing I know about myself is that if you hand me an infant, I won't shake it immediately. You know, outside of that, I don't know what I would do with them. But if I did have kids, I would raise them right, you guys. I would raise them right. And by right, I mean Christian. I'm going to raise my kids Christian. I'm going to raise my kids 100% fanatical, ass-backwards Christian. Have you ever talked to a born-again Christian? They're so confident, you know? I would love to believe in anything that much. And once you become Christian, you're able to do some pretty amazing things. Like, I was reading this book, it was called Unbroken, about these two guys that got shot down during World War II. Spent 33 days in a life raft. One of those guys was named Phil, and Phil said he survived because of his best friend, Jesus. Because Phil was hi helicopter. Because Phil was Christian, he got to be best friends with Jesus, who enabled him to survive for 33 days on a life raft without food and water. I'm not Christian, which means my best friend is fucking Ed. The only thing Ed has enabled me to do is to stay addicted to Oxycontin. Ed's not helping me survive shit, you guys. If I was on that life raft, I would die immediately. Like the first night I would eat all the chocolate and the rations. And the next day I would just be drinking the salt water. I would just be gulping it down, right? Just gulping it down. And then because Phil is Christian, he would turn to me and say, Aaron, don't drink salt water because it's poison and we love you and you want to survive. And because I'm not Christian, I would turn to Phil and I would say, fuck you, Phil! I'm thirsty! A couple problems with me raising my kids Christian. Number one, I'm a Jew. So if I'm Jewish, why wouldn't I just raise my kids like fanatically Jewish, right? Well, that's because I'm looking for a religion to give my kids confidence and Judaism is essentially the religion of. Ever talk to a rabbi and try to get some straight answers from that guy? Hey, Rabbi, as a Jew, do we believe in the afterlife? Probably. Maybe, maybe it's a possibility, Jews don't believe in the afterlife. And I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I think that's fucking bananas. The whole point of religion is to figure out what happens after we die so we can live our lives with some iota of confidence. No wonder we've been getting this shit kicked out of us for so long. Whoever said you can have your cake but you can't eat it too was, number one, a Jew. And number two, about 5 minutes away from killing himself. It was probably like one of his students, and he goes, so let me just get this straight. We subscribe to a religion where we obey this almighty God, but we get no reward for an afterlife with the concept of heaven. And then he goes, you can have your cake, but you can't eat it too. And then he goes, well, I just gotta ask, what's the point of anything anymore? And then he goes, and he killed himself. The other problem with me raising my kids Christian is, people, they take Christian doctrine and they use it to do a lot of hateful things against other people, right? So how am I going to avoid this? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a Bible to give to my kids, and I'm just going to sneak a chapter in there. I'm just going to sneak a chapter close to the front, Genesis book 48, verse 22, and God said unto Adam and Eve, gay people are chill. I made them, wasn't a mistake at all. And while we're at it, abortions are chill too, Yeah. Think of it as a recall. It was my goof, not yours. Don't worry about it. You guys have been awesome.
Keep going, Brandon Black, everyone! And Wimbledon conversations are